Hi everybody, this is Oksana. Today I'm going to show you a simple way to wrap a cloud-shaped stone like this. You can find cloud-shaped cabochons on Etsy. That's where I got mine from. And we're going to be using all round wires for this. So if you want to see how I made it, just keep watching. So we're going to be using two types of round wire. So both of these are dead soft copper wire from riogrande.com. This is 28 gauge, this is the thin wire, and this is 18 gauge. It is the thicker wire. Now you can use either 18 or 20 gauge. 20 will be just slightly thinner. It really depends on the size of your stone. This one is a little sturdier, and so I think it's easier for, or it can be easier for beginners because it kind of like holds better if everything's not perfect because it's so sturdy. So I'm just using one piece and it is 13 inches long. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to measure out, say about 3 inches, and I'm gonna bend it like this at the 3-inch mark. So now I'm going to be using some tools. So the tools I'm going to be using are wire cutters, and these are the Lindstrom brand. You can actually get a kit that has the cutters, the pliers, the everything. But my pliers, both regular pliers and round nose pliers, are from Lindstrom. So I'll show you what they're called. So these are the round nose pliers, RX 7590, and the regular ones 7890. I just got these kind of more recently because they have ergonomic handles, and I work so much with my hands that that's really handy for me. So I am going to use the round nose ones first to make the bail. So I'm just going to hold at the bend, and I'm going to go in the round, I'm sorry, not the widest part of the round nose pliers so that I can make a decent size bail like this. So I just bent it around, made a circle. Now you can hold that with your pliers. Whoop. And we're going to continue to bend it. So right now it's just going across, but we want it to kind of wrap all the way around. So I'm going to bring it up and back down, and now we have wrapped it all the way around and made our bail. I'm just going to press down on that a little bit like that. And now I'm going to get my stone. So let me measure my stone for you. I forget what kind of stone this is. I'll have to look it up. But it is almost 40 millimeters. It's quite big. Or in inches, it's 1.5 inches. Or basically like 38 millimeters. Because it's quite tall, this, if you measure this way. But then this way, it's a lot less. It's not even 1 inch. But the size doesn't matter. This concept will work for, you know, slightly smaller, slightly bigger. So this is going to be our bail, and I'm going to find a good place for it, just kind of in the back of the stone, kind of in the middle. This seems perfect because there's like a little groove there in the cloud shape. So I'm going to kind of hold this so it's straight, and I'm gonna press down on this wire because I want it to go across the front of my stone like this. So once you do that, because the stone has like a width and you can see it kind of bent, so I want to do a swirl with it, but I didn't want to just do a swirl. I wanted to figure out first, you know, where the wire is going to be on the front of my stone, and then I'm going to do the swirl. So I'm going to trim this a little bit because I don't want my swirl to be quite that large. So I think this will give me a good size swirl that I want. I can measure this for you. I'll just measure from the little bent part, so it's about 1 inch. So what I'm gonna do is, let me flip it upside down just because it's easier for me to work with this way. I'm gonna take my round nose pliers and I'm just gonna squish the tip of that. That's how I make my swirls. Feel free to do it however you like to do it and however you prefer. And then I just kind of keep going with it, just like a little bit at a time. Until I'm happy with the size and shape. And you can always come back with your pliers to kind of fix anything up that you might want to. Now I am going to hammer this. You don't have to, it's an optional step, but I want to show you how to do it if you want to. So in order to do that, I have to temporarily bend this wire out of the way. So if you're not going to hammer, don't do this. This is just so that I can put it on the block to hammer. So to hammer, you're going to need an iron block to hammer on, that we're going to hold this on, and then a chasing hammer, which is usually flat on one edge, rounded on the other edge. And I'm just going to hammer just like this. And then you'll see as you hammer that it flattens the wire. And again, this is optional, but if you wanted to give it a texture, you would hit it with this part of the hammer, this rounded side. Just having a hard time holding this because it's in the air here, so I can have it in front of my camera, but this rounded side is what I'm going to do next. So that gives it a really nice texture. If you choose to oxidize the copper, it'll really stand out. So now I want to fix my wires. So I'm going to kind of put this back and then push down on this wire, how it was meant to be, just straight down. Here's my swirl. Here's the back. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue with my wire, and here on the bottom there's a little kind of crevice there in the cloud, so I'm going to go ahead and push it through there, bend it from back to front, and now I'm going to try to get it close to this little swirl of mine, like this. And now I am going to bend it, so eventually I'm going to put it in this little area and bend it to the back, but I think it'd be nice to add like a little loop to it. Like that, and now we can bend it to the back. And there is this little area here. If you wanted to kind of fill that in, we can do that as well. So let's see, here on the back, it's basically coming across that other wire. So we're doing a bit of a crisscross situation, and I think it's easier just to have it go here in this little crevice like that. That way it makes just like an X across the back. And then here it is on the front, and we can make another little swirl. You can always add some beads to this wire as well. And now we're going to bend it again from the front to the back. And here on the back, we are going to trim it, but leave it a little bit longer like this. Because what we're going to do is make a loop, and then we're going to attach that loop to the other wire like this. we're going to connect them, because right now this can move and the swirl can also lift up and move. So we have to attach some of these wires, which I'm going to do with that thin 28 gauge wire that I showed you guys. So I'm just going to fix up my bail. So this little swirl, let's try to get it really close to that other wire like that. So now I'm gonna cut myself a little piece of the 28 gauge wire, 2 little pieces actually, that's what you're gonna need. Okay, so these are about 5 inches in length. So I'm gonna take one of them first, and I'm gonna attach that swirl on the front. So I'm gonna put that little piece underneath both wires, the swirl wire and the wire that we're trying to attach it to, like this. And I'm gonna pull it through so it's roughly equal length on each side here. Now I'm gonna just take one end of it and I'm gonna put it underneath again so that it kind of connects it even more. There's that little end. So if I just pull on that, it went all the way around and connected it like that. And now I'm gonna bring it back down. Now it looks like 2 little wraps, and I'm gonna wrap it around this edge here. You might have to lift it up a tiny bit to be able to fit your wire under there. Okay, so I'm just gonna wrap it around a few times, maybe like 4 times would be good. Oh, I'm having trouble getting it under there. Let me try to fix my little end so it's not so bent up. There we go. All right. Let's do that a couple more times. So that's probably adequate. That's about 4 little wraps there. So now I can grab my wire cutters, leave myself a little end so you can tuck away the little wire end. And then with my pliers, I'm taking that little end and I'm just kind of curving it downwards so that I can press on it and it kind of just curves in there. And we've hidden it away. So now we just have this wire here. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Wrap it around about 4 times or so. And last one. So now I will trim it and tuck that away. Kind of curve it downwards and press down on it. And also press this way to kind of bring them together so they're not so spaced out. And here's a close-up view of that connection. So now we're going to do the same connection here on the back. So with our wire, we're just going to pull it through underneath both wires like that. And then one more time. All right. And then we're just going to wrap around one side about 4 times. And then it's going to be the other side. And now the other side, I'll just trim at the end. And this is easy because this wire is naturally a little bit raised because it's going on top of that other wire. Is that 4? I think that's 4. All right, so we're just gonna trim and tuck away our little wire ends there. Just like that. And so just press on those wire ends, tuck them away, press this way. And that's it. We are done. We have created this simple little cloud pendant. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.